Hello and welcome live on NetFront Sports. My name's Aiden Bullsgard. Tristan Shaw is on your camera, and you're tuned in for a best-of-5 first-round series between the home side Fort Saskatchewan Rebels and the visiting Edmonton Miners. It's the Miners that lead this series 1-0. They've only lost one game all season long. That was to the Outlaws, as they can look to keep rolling and have a chance to finish it at home in game number 3. The Rebels looking to force a return to the JRC later on this week, tonight as well. Your starting goaltenders in this one. First, for the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels, it's number 5, Kyle Schmidt. And on the other side, for the Edmonton Miners, it is Colton Ferguson. We are underway. It's the Miners with the ball to open up this contest. It's the playoffs in the Senior B division of the RMLL. It's Edmonton moving it around when Greniak dishes that one off down to the right side, and a shot from the outside from Bowen, stopped by Schmidt. Feeling the ball early in this contest. He'll feed that one out along the right-hand side, and it's Tanner Tass who gets the cross half and dishes off for Dylan Kerr. Kerr trying to drive the low lane, gets steered back out by the Miners defense and goes up high for Eric George. George to the left side, Beret over east-west, shot on net, they score! The Rebels open it up at home and take the lead. Joshua Fodchuk pops it home. So 1-0 the lead for the Rebels, returning to center for the face-off. Here we go. We're back underway. Nolski in taking this one against push. It's the Rebels who come up with it. Eric George pushing in along his weak side. Brings this one low in behind the net, getting some pressure here. Still maintaining possession, and now it's whacked out of his stick, and it'll find its way onto the goaltender, Colton Ferguson. George was tied up there low with Adam Kennedy, but nonetheless, the Miners able to move this one up the floor without a whistle as they get back to work in the offensive zone. 18 seconds on the shot clock, and a miss pass. Going to find its way across half, and should be the over and back violation charged against Edmonton. So it's going to be Fort Saskatchewan ready to pick up in the offensive zone and get back to work here once again. Fodchuk picks this one up, going to run it up high now to the point, dishes off. He's got Wildeboer. Wildeboer along the outside, cuts the low lane, lets it go, and that one stopped by the right pad of Ferguson. Back up the floor comes Edmonton. Agus dishes that one off. He's got Bowen. Bowen challenged here, gets a pick to open up some space. Looking over to the right side of the floor, going to end up dishing off left. Miners to work. When Greniak stepping in, lets it go, and Schmidt makes another save. The rebound, they score. When Greniak puts it away on his own rebound, and the Miners have tied it up just like that, one apiece. 18:02 to go in your first period if you're just tuning in. 1-1 aside here from Fort Saskatchewan as the Miners look to put a chokehold on this series, and the Rebels look to get themselves square. Nolski back to center once again to take on Ronan Push. Nolski wins that draw, gets it free for Eric George, who runs it over to his own side for some space. George challenged by Push here, has to get through back across half, and he will. Takes a little bit of a shot from behind, pushed up against the board. The ball pops loose, and a return hit there from George. Drops his man down to the ground and Push, but nonetheless, the Miners able to pick back up and looking to exit their zone. Agus feeds that one up along the left-hand side. Justin Morgan now settling things down. A bounce pass off to Robertson. 17:28 to go in your opening frame. Robertson, a little stutter step up at the point, gets some space off the pick, lets it go. It's off a body, out of play. Last off the Rebels, the stripes say, so it's going to remain Edmonton ball and a fresh 30 up on the clock. Harrow Wires up high, gets the return feed now, going to dish it off left-hand side. Needham continuing to move this ball around. Comes back now. Jake Bowen tried to go across the 24 that time. Missed pass, but recovered by the Miners. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Shot from the outside, and Schmidt able to make the stop. And looking hurt on that was Zach Harrowires. Slowly making his way to the bench. Maybe caught a slash on the inside of the leg there. Nonetheless, no arms go up in the air. Play goes on. Kerr rushing it along the right-hand side. 16:45 to go in the first period. Kerr from those right-wing half-boards looking up high in the zone now. Tried to bob low. Steered away. Going to go cross. He finds his captain, Beret. Beret back to the outside. Lets the low shot go, and that one stopped by Ferguson. Rebound recovered by Edmonton. A little miss pass, but Yo able to come in, collect that one, and run it across half himself. Getting away from Wheaton now, looking towards his bench for the changing offense as Bowen will receive that pass. An outside shot, and that one's blocked by Nolski. Schmidt going to gather that one in his stick now and looking up the floor. Schmidt out to Nolski, running this one up along his weak side, along the right-hand side, and Bowen going to lay a hit on him, but Nolski still able to dish the pass away to Eric George. George now spinning back up high. He finds Barrett. Fraser Barrett to the right-hand side. Fodchuk lets it go, and that one stopped by Ferguson. It's been rough kind of away from the ball so far in this contest. Couple extra checks going on between players. You know, this team, these two teams, I should say, not a fan of each other. It's been the Miners kind of having the Rebels' number in seasons past and all year long, as well as Wagrenyuk. A nice pass to the inside push. Just couldn't quite gather that one in time. Fraser Barrett has it out for the Rebels and goes right up Broadway. It's Hudson Shivers. Forced out wide. Trying to find some space as he moves back up high in the zone now. He'll dish off for Kerr. So, you know, the Rebels looking to get their get back, and no better time to do it in a first-round series in the playoffs. George dished across. Beret, 11 seconds to go on the shot clock. Up high, Kerr settling it down, looking for a lane. Push to his offside and drop down to the floor. He just has to roll it away. It's free right now in the Edmonton 24. Swatted towards the net by Wheaton, but settled down by Ferguson. The Miners looking to head up the floor once again. Yo, instantly pressured there by Carter Albrecht. Albrecht puts it across half, and that's going to be the violation, getting up the floor for the Miners. Turn back over to the Rebels as they're going to look to go back on offense. Game remains tied, 1-1, 14:40 to go. In your opening frame, Fodchuk dishes that one up to the point. Kerr, return feed, Fodchuk. Down behind the net now, Beret scanning, surveying, looking for his options. Has nobody yet. Going to have to run it up to the point himself. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Dished across and a nice stop. Ferguson and George on the rebound. Tried to get it back in the middle. Rebels do get it. Fresh 30 now on the clock for them. Fodchuk pulls it out to those right wing half-boards once again. Finds the lane. An outside shot. Glove save. Rebound. Oh, my. Colton Ferguson flailing the arms, making the save. And that ball out of play. So it's going to be Rebels ball once again. But what a outstanding save from the Miners goaltender. Beret has it at the point. Dishes off Eric George. George back up to the point now. Kirk gets the pick there from Fodchuk. A nice give and go to the inside and a stop by Ferguson. Beret gathers the rebound once again. Good pressure by the Rebels. They have the Miners hemmed in. Fodchuk on the outside. Another reset of the shot clock. 23 seconds to go. Beret, Will DeBoer at that left shooter spot. Trying to bob in between defenders. Gets inside. Lets it go. Rebound pops out. Loose behind the net. Will DeBoer picks it up. And another reset for Fort Saskatchewan. Will DeBoer settling things down as acknowledged by his coach. Kurt out to Fodchuk. Fodchuk dishes off up high. Will DeBoer looking for an option. Outside shot stopped by Ferguson. Miners finally pick up. Trying to head up the floor. A loose ball coming down to the left corner. Lots of red bodies in there. As Albrecht trying to sneak up the boards. Make his way past Marcus Needham, and he will now. Albrecht crosses that center line and will dish off up high. Fraser Barrett. Barrett pulls this one out wide, hits Eric George. George trying to dodge the hit here. Gets contact from his second man. Goes up high. Kerr across Wheaton. Bobbled the pass momentarily. 8 seconds on the shot clock for the Rebels. Wheaton scanning. Goes up high, and that one just couldn't quite be settled down that time by Matt Murphy. Murphy will get it back, but that's going to be the expiration of the shot clock. So now the Miners going to have a free run up the floor here. Sonnichsen picks it up, 2-on-1, coming the other way. A quick shot dished over top of the net by Ronan Push. Rebound gathered by the Rebels. It's Will DeBoer sending it across floor. Barrett, who goes across half now. And Fort Saskatchewan going to settle it down. 12:20 to go in your opening frame. Ball sent back up high. Eric George now at the point. George, left corner. Beret took the short side shot, and that one missed wide of the cage. It's going to be over and back. Charged against the Rebels, who are leading the shot board 8-3, according to the clock here in the JRC. All the pressure on the Miners, who are looking to break this tie that sits 1-1. Wyatt brings this ball up high, dishes it cross floor for Wengreniuk. The only goal scorer today for the Miners, brings it back up to the point. Gets a return feed in the middle. Bowen wires that one off the crossbar. Rebound gathered by the Miners. They're going to settle it down. Wengreniuk with a fresh 30. Gets the return feed now. Goes down low along the right-hand side. Bowen back up to the point. Wyatt dishes off. Lots of outside movement here from the Miners, trying to get inside this Rebels defense, and they will. Robertson puts it just wide of the net that time. So it's going to be over and back, charged against the Miners, and the Rebels going to get yet another stab at some offense. Scanton will leave that one in the corner. Wheaton going to come down and start this play back off for Fort Saskatchewan. Up high, Kerr, dished off George. George finds his captain, Bure, along the left-hand side, spinning, looking for an option, sends it. I think attempting to go cross floor, bounced off a stick on net. Nonetheless, Ferguson in the way, and it's the Miners looking to head back up the floor once again. Running it across half, Jackson Ganton. 11-11 to go in the first. Ganton finds Sonnichsen along the right-hand side, who goes east-west once again. Back to work, it's Edmonton. Sonnichsen from the outside. Schmidt makes a nice right pad save. Wildeboer picks it up for the Rebels. That's Alex Wildeboer running up along the right-hand side and across half. Fort Saskatchewan back in the offensive zone. Bray gets the pass from him at the point. 15 seconds on the shot clock for the Rebels to work with. Wheaton meandering his way in, dishes off to Bure. Bure down to the corner now. Here comes the movement from the Rebels as George gets it on the inside. Lets it go, and a nice right elbow save from Ferguson as George dropped down to the ground. As the Miners feed this one out and back across half. It's Robertson receiving that pass. Got it from Adam Kennedy. Robertson still with it in his stick. Challenged along the outside. He'll go back up high. Bowen. Bowen down to the right. Wengreniuk sends it across. Stepping inside. And that shot on net stopped by Schmidt. That's Luke Bowen getting stoned by the Rebels goaltender. And it's going to be Fort Saskatchewan. Ball is whistled by the referees as they cross half here once again. Kerr. Along the right-hand side, dishes across Bure. 14 seconds on the shot clock for the Rebels. Bure puts it on net, and that one's stopped by Ferguson. He'll scoop it up in his goaltender stick here once again. Yo. Cross half, finds Harrow Ayers. Under 10 minutes to go here in the first. Your next whistle should be your goalie water/TV timeout. Perfect time for you to take a break if needed from this hard-hitting lacrosse action on a Wednesday night in Fort Saskatchewan. Brought to you by, of course, NetFront Sports as Will DeBoer picks this one up. Fast break for the Rebels as Murphy has a lane. Lets it go. Stopped by Ferguson. Got low for that one and closed up the holes. As a result, the Miners back up the floor. Play continues. Robertson. Down to the right corner now. Finds Wengreniuk. Wengreniuk trying to drive right down the point, turned away by Nolsky. A quick stick shot from the corner, stopped by Schmidt. Rebound pops out. Needham just not quite quick enough on that attempt, and we remain square. 8:50 to go in your opening frame. Across half, it's Hudson Shivers. Shivers dishes out now. Fodchuk dished off Bure. Bure down to the corner. He's got Eric George. 15 seconds to work with for the Rebels. George up high. Fraser Barrett coming off the bench hits Kerr. Kerr down to the corner. Fodchuk. He's the only one with a Rebels goal. Tries to go short side high on Ferguson. Stopped by that left elbow, and it's the Miners who pick back up. Play continues. Duff runs this one across half. Dishes off along the left-hand side. Bowen. Challenged by Zayden Blake here, tendering him along to the outside. Shot let go by Bowen, stopped by Schmidt. Blake on him now, pinning up against the boards. Bowen gets away momentarily. Murphy gets on a high stick called on Bowen here, so a penalty upcoming to the Rebels. 6-on-5 for the Miners for at least the next 20 seconds. Robertson, then extra man off the bench. Harrowire settling it down. He'll hit Robertson now. The first power play of the game going to get awarded to the Miners unless they can strike right here. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Barrett gets his man up along the boards. My apologies. That's McAdam as Robertson wires one off the post. Play across half. And it looks like this penalty getting assessed to the Rebels. It's going to be Zayden Blake headed to the box. 2 minutes for a hold is what's being assessed to Blake. And how they got a hold out of that, I guess, will remain in question for the rest of time. Nonetheless, it's your TV timeout. Perfect time to let you know tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Rival Sportswear, Canada's fast-growing custom apparel brand, Alberta-owned and operated. Always custom, always affordable. Elevate your team with Rival Sportswear, as well as shout out to the Rebels 2026 sponsors: Leading Edge Physiotherapy, Cyclone Environmental Service, 5-2 Project Services, Lakeview Inns and Suites, Jiffy Lube, Armor Self Storage, Sin Bin Sports, Mel Martin's Transfer Limited, Fort Sask Auto Body, First Call Heating, AC Plumbing, and a special thanks to the Rebels presenting sponsor this season, Noyan Construction. And as this lacrosse season winds down, if you're a business owner in the Fort Saskatchewan area or beyond, don't worry, there's still board space available here in the JRC for you to advertise your brand. If you're interested, you can reach out to Rebels General Manager Dave McGarva. His contact information is available at the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels website. We're just about ready to get underway in this one again. 7:35 on the clock. It's a Miners power play, the first man advantage for either side in this contest. We are tied 1-1. Zayden Blake sits and watches from the penalty box when Grenier dishes that one across half. That one going to get stolen away quickly, and it's going to be a fast break. Caden Flett trying to win the race against Wingrenia. Flett steps in, stopped by Ferguson. Got away with it. Rebound recovered by the Miners, and that could have been a poor start to the man advantage. Nonetheless, their goaltender bails them out. Robertson. Cross floor Wingreniuk. Back up to the point now. Royer with it once again, dishes down to the corner. The Miners, 12 seconds to work with on the shot clock as this one dished through the middle. Not going to connect. Robertson had to get the bouncing ball. Goes cross floor. Harrowires behind the back pass. Inside, a nice shot by Robertson. Stopped off the inside of the foot. Kyle Schmidt and Albrecht going to run this one out shorthanded for the Rebels. 6:42 to go in the frame. 1:06 in the Miners power play. Fort Saskatchewan looking to kill this one off and keep this game square. They probably had the best opportunity, this man advantage, and it came shorthanded. Albrecht trying to find his way through the middle, and that one going to get swatted out of his stick by Jackson Ganton as they'll battle for a loose ball in the corner. Picked back up by the Miners. Ronan Push up along the left-hand side now. Hits Royer settling things down. 6:16 to go in the first. 40 seconds in this Miners power play. Royer. Wingreniuk. Royer pulling this one out left. Back up to the point. Wingreniuk. A bounce pass. Gets away from Royer. Rebound knocked down by Wildeboort. As both these teams battling for it. Robertson going to come in and pick this one up. Wingreniuk from the point lets it go, and a shoulder save by Kyle Schmidt. 18 seconds on the Miners power play. The Rebels can effectively kill it if they can hold on to it here, but an errant pass going to get away, and the big defenseman, John Lintz, going to pick that one up behind his own net and look up the floor. Lintz puts that one across half. He's got Royer. Royer slowing things down. Power play over for the Miners. They're 0 for 1 as Zayden Blake steps out. Royer dishes across. Harrowires from the outside. Another shoulder save by Schmidt. This pass going to get away and possibly another break here for Flett. It's off the boards. Flett going to pick it up and just a little too low to get an opportunity on net. Brings it back out. Dishes up high. He's got Fodchuk. 5:12 remaining in your opening frame. 1-1 your tie in game number 2 of the first round of the Senior B RMLL playoffs between the Rebels and the Miners. It's the Miners that lead this series 1-0. Is Fodchuk now going to put that one behind the net? A fake, a wraparound, they score! The Rebels grab back the lead. Fraser Barrett a little how you doing behind the net. Goes one way, goes the other, pots that one home, and the Rebels a 2-1 lead as we return to the face-off dot. Tristan Shaw jumping out of his shorts on that one. He loves it. He's the Rebels' #1 fan. Has never missed a home game day since he learned about them. As Nolski going to grab this one in center, ready to get going here again. It's going to be the face-off violation charged against the Miners. Rebels ball with a fresh 30 down in the Miners zone. Shots 13-8 in favor of Fort Saskatchewan as Kerr going to pick this one up now. Less than 5 minutes to go in the first period. Dishes off up high. Barrett just got his team out in front, and he'll pass off George. George's pass gets snagged out of the air. A nice run coming up here. Hunter Agus gets in alone. Agus lets it go, and a great stop by Schmidt. Brandon Wheaton going to pick up the rebound, and a breakaway opportunity stoned by the Rebels goaltender. And Wheaton going to dish that down along the right side. A nice cut in here for Kerr, who goes across crease, and a low save by Ferguson. Miners remain within one. I've never seen the Rebels play like this, to be quite honest with you. Lots of pace, lots of action. I don't think I recall the senior Rebels playoff game, to be fair, in my 4 years' time. I have to fact check that one, but I'm fairly sure. Nonetheless, it's exciting. I love the energy out of the team, and the Miners settled and solid as always. They only trail by one. Flett now going to go for another run here. One-on-one against Bowen. He pulls it out wide. Looks like he's slowing it down, putting on the brakes. Going to put it up high for Josh Fodchuk. 3:50 to go in the first. Fodchuk finds his man coming off the bench, and Kerr instantly gets the return feed as he'll cycle it up high. Dishes off Barrett. Sent out now Greg Bure, the captain, from the outside. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Passes it off. Fodchuk now looking for an option. Outside shot gets on net, and that one stopped. Rebound. Fodchuk again, and a second stop. Rebound for Kerr this time, and he just lost his handle. 2 great opportunities for the Rebels. Stopped by Ferguson. The Miners back up the floor once again. Robertson. 3:20 to go in the first. He's going to challenge Albrecht along the point. Lets it go. Schmidt makes a save and gathers the rebound with his stick. Feed that one along the outside, and it's Longmire now looking up the floor. Longmire, cross half penalty upcoming here to the Miners as George knocked down to the ground. Nowhere near the play, and it's going to be the power play upcoming. Interference charged against the Miners. Yo to the box, the Rebels to their first power play, brought to you by 5-2 Project Services. 3:01 to go in your opening frame. The Rebels looking to extend their lead. Players getting set and ready to get back underway. Eric George going to start with this ball up high. Little wipe of the floor taking place. Safety #1 priority for all those concerned. Sherbanuk make his way back to the bench. This power play unit ready to get to work. Eric George up high, exactly 3 minutes to go. Fodchuk, Wheaton, Fodchuk, George, Will DeVore. Shot from the outside, that ticked off a stick and wide out of play. And it looks like it's going to remain Rebels ball. So George going to start with this one back up high, and a fresh 30 here for the Fort Saskatchewan power play. George finds Fodchuk. Behind the back pass, Wheaton behind the net, Bure. Rebels have scored from there already today. As George from the outside, his big shot going to get knocked down in front, and Ganton trying to swing off his man and does so nicely. Ganton back up high. Shot from the outside there, and a great opportunity for Kennedy shorthanded. The Miners showing they can do it as well, as the Rebels had an opportunity when they were penalty killing, and they were stopped by the wall of Colton Ferguson. Now the Miners stopped by the wall of Schmidt. Loose ball here down in the Miners zone. Bone will pick that one up, rolled it up the floor, and stolen away here by Tanner Tass. He's sitting in space waiting for his power play unit to get back out on the floor. 56 seconds for the Rebels to work with. Up high now, Wheaton. Wheaton Pulls this one low into his power play spot up high now. George Fodchuk, the last man off the bench. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 1:45 in the frame. Fodchuk across. Wildeboer from the outside. Steps in. Great stop. That one gets through. Wildeboer pots one home. And the Rebels take the 2-goal lead on the power play. They go 1 for 1. 1:38 in the frame. Will return to the faceoff dot. Push Shanulski going to go at it here once again. Rebels lead by 2. George brings this one into safety off the faceoff. Scanning. Goes right up the middle there and just missed. Carter McAdam. He'll gather the rebound nonetheless. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Finds George coming back into the zone. A big shot from the outside and a great save by Ferguson. Loose ball here. Going to get picked up by John Lentz. Right up the middle. Agus settles it down. Agus going to put on the brakes. Makes a nice move around Albrecht. The ankle breaker and the stop from Schmidt. Great move by Agus. Drops Albrecht on his way by, but just no dice. Schmidt continues to be strong in this opening frame. We are in the last minute of play in the first period. The Rebels back in the offensive zone. Dished up high. Curnow from the outside lets it go. Great stop, Ferguson, once again. Boy, does he do a great job of covering his net without dropping down too much. Gets active with the arms, and I would call it a great skill, in my opinion, nonetheless. He's doing a great job this period as well. Stopped 14 shots. Schmidt has stopped 12. And it was a close one in game number 1. 14-12 is what the Miners edged out the Rebels on their home turf. So Fort Saskatchewan forced to answer today if they don't want to be pushed to the brink in this 5-game series in round number 1. His ball up along the left-hand side now. Jackson Gann moving this one in with some pace. Lets it go, and Schmidt makes a save. Rebels going to pull this one out now. Schmidt giving his defense a little bit of extra time. Is right up the middle now. George dishes that one across and gives Albrecht some time and space. Albrecht, Fodchuk, crease dive, stop! Great slide across by Ferguson. Play blown dead. Timeout called by the Miners. No doubt they're going to go with the empty pipes for a 6-on-5 attack in the last 17.6. Again, we thank you for tuning in to RMLL playoff action on NetFront Sports. My name's Aiden Bolsgaard. Tristan Shaw running the camera. And a possible last for us here today if the Miners are able to get the win. They'll have a chance to close it out later on this week. Of course, the Junior Rebels already cashing their ticket to the Larry Bishop Memorial Provincial Championship. That one in Innisfail, Alberta. I believe their 3rd year in a row attending that tournament. So congratulations to them, and as well to the Outlaws in a hard-fought series in the North Finals as well. Robertson going to start with this ball up high when we're ready to resume. 18.5 on the clock. Robertson, when Greniak. Watch for that movement around the 8-second mark is when the Miners are going to start to try to penetrate the middle here. Going to wait a little longer. It looks like 6 seconds when this movement starts. From the outside now, dished off. Robertson bobbles it, picked up. Murphy right down the middle, and that one off the crossbar. Bar down from the other side of the floor. It's not going to count. I don't think it would have otherwise. Clock had expired. After 20 minutes, 3-1 is your lead in favor of the home side. Fort Saskatchewan Rebels over the visiting Edmonton Miners. We'll be back in just under 10 minutes with your middle frame action. Until then, don't get too far. This is NetFront Sports. Hello and welcome back live to NetFront Sports, the home of over 2.8 thousand subscribers. Loving lacrosse action. Make sure to tune into the Junior Beast podcast as well. That's available on our channel. You can get all the best news in junior lacrosse right there. As we're underway in our second period, the Rebels leading this contest 3-1 over the Miners is the first opportunity of the period. Goes to Ronan Push, wires it over top of the net. Miners settle down the rebound. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Royer from the outside put that one off the Rebels defense, I believe. 12 seconds on the shot clock. No reset off a defensive body as Bowen now from the outside. Miners putting on some pressure here early on in the period. As a step inside, they score. Jake Bowen pops that one home, and the Miners strike first in the second, get themselves back within one. 2.8 thousand subscribers. That's a crazy stat nowadays. I remember when we were building up from the hundreds. It can take a while, but here we are today. NetFront only continuing to grow, and we thank you for tuning in once again today. Aiden Bolsgaard, Tristan Shaw on your broadcast. Kurt couldn't quite gather that one along left-hand boards. Picked up once again by Edmonton. Steps across half, holding on to it on his weak side of the floor. Going to send that one to Sonichson coming off the bench. Sonichson to Royer. 20 seconds on the shot clock as the Miners look to tie this game up. Royer, quick shot on net. Great stop by Schmidt. He's been good today, but the Miners, some early pressure here. 18:52 to go in the second. If you're just tuning in, the Miners have struck first in this frame. The Rebels now only lead by one. Is back in the offensive zone. Their first solid possession of this period. Fotchuk rips that one wide of the net, and it's going to get across half. So the over and back violation. Miners ball down in the Rebels zone. Bowen rips this one up high. Harrowires now scanning the floor from the point. Going to dish off. Finds Bowen. Bowen behind the net. Fed back out in front. That one bobbled momentarily by Jake Bowen. He's got a goal in this contest. The one that just got his team within one. Is Fleck going to pick this up from his own end? Go for a quick run down the floor. Coming in 2-on-1 with Kerr. And that pass just a little bit over top of his head. Now a battle back for this ball as the Rebels try to keep it in the offensive zone. Flett will hold on to it, finds Wildeboer, goes into the middle. Kerr steps in, goes short side wide of the net. Takes a hit as well as that one goes out of play, and it's going to be Miners' ball back the other way. 18:02 to go in your second period. They step across half. Ronan Push. Down along the right-hand side, finds Sonichson. Sonichson to the left-hand side. Needham trying to get it back in front with a little scoop pass. Couldn't find its way home, and now Murphy going to bring this one across half as Nolsky lays quite the pick there on the way up the floor. Probably lucky to get away with it not being a moving pick on that one. Nonetheless, George going to receive this pass, go down low for Wheaton. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Fodchuk dishes across, back up to the point now. Wheaton just couldn't quite settle down that pass. We'll get it now. Back across. Wildeboer from the outside. Shot on that. Stopped by Ferguson. 17:20 to go as the Miners move this one up the floor. Bowen receives a pass. Challenging here. Turn back to the outside by Zayden Blake. Bowen. Up high. Going to find Harrowires off to the right-hand side. It's Wingraniuk right down the pipe. He whistles that one wide of the net. It's out of play off the board, so it's going to be Rebels ball. They'll move this one up the floor once again. Harrowires. Trying to go into the middle for Bahrain. He just couldn't quite settle that one down, and Wheaton lost the rebound as well. So the Miners back the other way here once again. To the point now, Bowen. Royer, his shot, right shoulder saved by Schmidt. Needham all over the rebound, and he'll get the reset for the Miners. Looking to hem in the Rebels here once again, trailing by one. 16.5 in your second frame. Ball up high, an outside shot. Schmidt makes the stop. Needham gets a rebound once again, and the Miners going to settle this down as they have yet another reset. Right-hand side. Sonichson to the point, Robertson. Outside, Royer. To the right hand. Needham lets it go low, and a right pad save by Schmidt. Ball back out, and the Miners going to recover the rebound once again. They've really got the Rebels on their heels here. As a feed through the middle. Bone going to pick it up, and a great stop by Schmidt. This one swatted down the floor, last off the Rebels. So it's going to get picked up by the Miners goaltender, Colton Ferguson, and they're going to head back to the offensive side of the floor once again. Some tired defenders for Fort Saskatchewan. The Miners have come out kicking here in the middle frame. A nice feed to the middle. Sonderson just couldn't quite settle that down, and now Murphy going to rush this one across half. Murphy feeds that one out. Will DeBoer going to settle it down along the boards and go up high now for George as he looks for the change. George. 16 on the shot clock. Up high, Wheaton. Down to the corner now, Fodchuk. He'll cycle his way up high. Fodchuk, a nice little toe drag move. Steered to the outside by Duff and knocked down. Some great defense from Duff as Kerr along the outside. His shot going to get blocked. Another one in the rebound. Pops off the pads of Ferguson, but John Lintz right there to settle it down and send his team back out the other way. Justin Morgan brings it across half. Up high when Graniak is Morgan going to go for the change. That'll bring Robertson off the bench. When Graniak feed to the inside all alone. That shot can end up just wide from Harrowires. And a penalty upcoming here to Fort Saskatchewan as Albrecht getting into it here with, I believe, Harrowires. They continue to go at it. So Albrecht headed for sure. We'll see if he's joined in this penalty evened up. And it looks like that's going to be the case. 4-on-4 is what we'll play with 14:40 to go in the second frame. Roughing is the call to either side. Shots 20-20, evened right up in this contest as it's going to be Rebels ball. They have the lead by one, have yet to strike pay dirt here in this second period. Wildeboer going to start with it up high. Wildeboer hits George as the play is blown in. Ball fed across now. Kerr trying to find his way to the inside. Spins off. Low shot. He scores. Dylan Kerr becomes the fourth goal scorer of the night for the Rebels, and they reestablish a 2-goal lead. Lots of open floor results in lots of opportunity, and the Rebels, the first to capitalize, is Nolsky. Going to line up against his man in push once again for the faceoff. 1:49 to go. 4-on-4. Nolsky digging at it. Face-off violation charged against the Rebels, so it's going to be Miners' ball as Robertson quickly off the bench trying to catch the Rebels. Sleeping there, and his shot blocked up, and now Fleck going to go for a run up along the left side of the floor. Pulls back as Robertson was tracking him down. Will go up high. Shivers, who will get Beret coming off the bench. Rebels offense trying to get back out there. 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Beret down along the left-hand side, spins off. Spins a second time. Third for the toe drag. Beret trying to do it all himself as he can't find a passing option. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Feed to the inside. Barrett lets it go, and that did catch a piece of Ferguson, I believe, is knocked down. On that play was Barrett, and it's going to be turned back over to the Rebels on the loose ball push. Fresh 30 for this offense to work with. George up high with Kerr. Fodchuk out there with Beret as well. Beret with the ball now. Dishes outside. George sent across. That one knocked down in the middle. Loose ball going to get picked up by Morgan, and the Miners trying to head back towards the offensive side of the floor. A bouncing ball ends up out of play, and it'll be awarded back to the Rebels in their own end. Carter McAdam. 13-18 to go in the second. McAdam up along the left-hand side. He's got Eric George. 13-14 on the clock. 32 seconds, 4-on-4. Lots of space remaining as Fodchuk snipes one from the outside. Make that his second long ball of the game. And the Rebels lead it 5-2 over the Miners in game number 2 of round 1 here in the RMLL Senior B playoffs. Nolsky Back to the face-off dot. And it looks like Ganton going to take it against him here. Second 4-on-4 goal for the Rebels. Still 28 seconds remaining at that stripe. Nolski wins that draw clean. Flat takes a hit as he doesn't have the possession of the ball. And that's a penalty upcoming here to the Miners. A high one that time from Shanklin. We'll see what the referees decide. It's, to me, more the loose ball contact there and just kind of the follow through up high. Not malicious by any means. And it's going to end up as the 2-minute call. So the Rebels going to be on the 4-on-3 power play, their second power play of this contest. They're 1-for-1 thus far. And, of course, every Rebels power play this season brought to you by 5-2 Project Services. 4-on-3 for 22 seconds before we'll head 5-on-4, barring another penalty. Beret sends it in and he scores. The captain gets on the board and the Rebels continue to capitalize. 2 for 2 on the power play. And we're going back 4-on-4, 12:55 to go in the second. 6-2 is your score in favor of the home squad. Push, ready to get back to the face-off dot. No doubt going to be joined by Nolski, who's having himself a good day in the drop. And it looks like we're going to have a goaltender change here as well. So out goes Ferguson, in comes Matt Hebert for the Miners. Remember, Edmonton has only dropped one singular game this season. That came against the Outlaws early in the campaign. They finished first in the Senior B division, but on their heels right now against the Rebels. But this game could change on a dime. We know the firing power of this Miners squad. 4 goals, not out of their reach by any means. 12:40 to go in your second frame. We are back 5-on-5. Zalbrecht steps out of the box, joined by Harrowires, and those two get into it once again. And it looks like it's going to be Rebels ball here. And Albrecht taking all kinds of contact here in front of the Rebels bench. And it looks like a penalty upcoming here to the Miners. We'll see if they're joined by the Rebels. It's Seidel making his walk there right now. Indeed, it's going to be 4-on-4, both for roughing Nolski. And Seidel will sit down. 4-on-4 is where we'll head back to with 12:29 to go in your middle frame. We're almost halfway through this contest, and good to see the Junior B Tier 1 Rebels turning out here to support their squad at home. They've been loud and proud thus far, and I mean, it's about time they showed up because they had some shirtless fans going on in their playoff series that I think brought them over and above as well. As Wildeboer from the outside lets a shot go on net now and stopped by Hebert. Miners regain the rebound and get across half. It's Ganton. Dishing off, he's got Needham. We are evened up. Needham up high. Bowen going to bring this out to his strong side of the floor along the right now at those half boards. Sent across now. Needham. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Back for Bowen once again. Stepping inside, and Schmidt able to make the stop. Rebound gathered by Bowen himself. Needham. Royer. Spins off the pressure. Royer to the inside. Needham avoids it. By the back shot. Stopped by Schmidt. Now the Rebels gather and looking to get back across half. Dished off. Barrett coming off the bench now. 11:25 to go in the second. Barrett. Button hooks. Looking back up high now. 4-on-4 for another 50 seconds as Kerr can't handle that ball. It's going to be over and back charged against the Rebels, and the Miners back to the offensive zone for free. Bowen gets this pass from Robertson. Challenging. Murphy spins around him. He scores. Bowen. Some fancy footwork, and that's his second goal of the game. 6-3 now the score as the Miners get themselves back within 3. We'll go back to center. The Rebels' #1 draw man, Nolski, sitting in the box, which an unfortunate pull for them right now as push going to return for the Miners. And it looks like Fraser Barrett going to step in to take this face-off for the Rebels. Clean win there by Push. Gets that one back to Justin Morgan. 11 minutes exactly go in the second. 29 seconds, 4-on-4 as Royer has this at that left shooter spot. From the outside, lets it go, and it's just wide of the net that time. Chasing it down is Sonnichsen and couldn't keep it across half. It's going to be the over and back. Violation called against him, and the Rebels going to make their way across half. McAdam. It's his man coming off the bench in Wheaton. Wheaton over to Beret. Up high now. 17 seconds on the shot clock. George with the ball. George stepping to the inside. Scoop pass. Finds Beret. Between the legs. Shot, and that one stopped by Hebert. Now a stretch pass. Miners back the other way, and Schmidt makes the stop. Albrecht chasing down his man, but it's going to be the penalty charged against him for the hit from behind. Great opportunity there for Michael Seidel. Schmidt just a little bit better, but the Miners headed to their second power play of this contest. They're 0 for 1 thus far, but an opportunity to get back within a pair. Looks like Royer going to start with this ball up high. Dished off right-hand side now. Royer gets a return feed down low. Robertson right back in the middle, trying to find Greniak. Didn't hit him, and trying to spring himself away is Aiden Blake. Going to get a second opportunity here, going in one-on-one against Robertson. Blake spinning off, low shot stopped by Hebert. Rebound out, Push going to settle it down, makes a nice pass to the middle for Yo. Yo back across half. Miners back on attack on this power play. Right down the middle. Yo stopped by Schmidt. He'll settle the rebound as well. Fed out. Played ahead now. Tanner Tass looking to get it across the half for Rebels. Then he sneaks through 2 men in the process and gets there. Tass back to the outside. Kerr dished off. Fawchuk from the outside goes short side, and that one's going to be off the backboard. Settled down by Hebert. 1:05 remaining in this Miners power play. They're going to go back on attack once again. 9:18 remaining in your second frame. Your next whistle should be your TV timeout / goalie water break. It's Royer up high. Gets a return feed now off to the right-hand side. Edwin Greniak. Royer sent it across. That pass knocked out of the air by Shivers. Rebound pops out. Flat. Disrupted momentarily, but Robertson lets it go from the outside. Schmidt makes the save. Rebound out. Robertson a second chance. Put it off the outside of the post. Held up at half by Kennedy. Reset of the shot clock for the Miners. Some good pressure by them here. The last 30 seconds of their power play now underway. 20 on the shot clock. Greniak. Royer. Greniak. They play pass. Royer with it at the top once again. Down to the corner. Robertson tries to go back into the middle, and that one knocked down. Bowen gets the rebound to the point. Royer, low shot blocked by Flat. 4 seconds remaining. The Rebels trying to get this possession back. Another shot blocked by Murphy. Bodies on the line. 3 seconds on the penalty kill for the Rebels. It'll be their ball when we come out of our TV timeout. Good time to let you know tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Rivals Sportswear, Canada's fast-growing custom apparel brand, Alberta owned and operated. Always custom, always affordable. Elevate your team with Rivals Sportswear, as well as shout out to the Rebels 2026 sponsors, Leading Edge Physiotherapy, Cyclone Environmental Service, 5-2 Project Services, Lakeview Inns and Suites, Jiffy Lube, Armor Self Storage, Sin Bin Sports, Mel Martin's Transfer Limited, Fort Sask Auto Body, First Call Heating, AC Plumbing, and a special thanks to the Rebels presenting sponsor this season, Noyen Construction. As well, if you are a business owner in the Fort Saskatchewan area or beyond and looking to advertise your company, no better place to do it than here on the available board space in the JRC. If you're interested, you can reach out to Rebels General Manager Dave McGarva. His information is available on the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels website. 8:21 to go in your second period. 6-3 is the lead for Fort Saskatchewan. 3 seconds left for them on their penalty kill before we'll be even 5-on-5 as we stride to right now. George finds Beret coming off the bench. Fed back outside. George, 17 on the shot clock. Kerr, right side now. Fodchuk scanning up to the point. George, left corner. Fraser Barrett lets it go from the outside. It's blocked down, and the rebound gathered by Hebert. Feeds that one out, and he finds Kennedy, who's going to run this one up across half just in the nick of time. Kennedy. Left corner, he's got Needham. Needham back up to the point, finds Wengreniuk. Sent across now. Bowen, 2 goals in today's contest. Bobs his way to the inside as he's falling, just sends it wide of the net, and that one's going to be out of play, and it's going to be Rebels ball from their own end of the floor. This one blown dead as the referees are looking for a wipe of the playing surface. 7:33 on the clock. The Rebels out shooting the Miners 26-25. In Bulls Garden, Tristan Shaw joining you here for NetFront Sports. As always, we appreciate you tuning in, especially for this year's playoff action as the Rebels return in the Senior B Division to postseason gameplay. Getting a good wipe of the floor in now is Chris Sherbanuk. Kerr playing a little bit of wall ball in his own end as well. Once the referee is pleased, we'll be able to get back to some hard-hitting lacrosse action. And it looks like we're just about ready to go. Kerr going to start with this ball from his own end. We're more than halfway through this contest as the Rebels look to even up this series, trailing 1-0 after dropping a 14-12 decision on the road. George gets this pass from Kirk, takes a hard hit in the process. George from the outside lets it go. Hebert able to make the save. Wildeboer gets a rebound. Reset for the Rebels as a scoop pass to the outside, settled down by Fodchuk. Play going to be blown dead. And it looks like George going to be sent to the box, I think joined here by Michael Seidel. And it looks like yet again in the second, we're going to find ourselves some more 4-on-4 action. And we're just going to wait to see whose ball it is. And it looks like it's going to be Fort Saskatchewan who gets this one at the point. Greg Bray going to start with it. Bray brings this one in along the left-hand side. Burns Morgan in the process. Tried to look back into the middle for Wildeboer, but not quite opened up. Fodchuk now gets a pick into space along the outside. Lost his footing momentarily. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Scoop pass to the outside and a low shot from Kerr. Caught a body on the way, and the rebound gathered by the Miners. 6:42 to go in the second as this pass whistled right up Broadway by Hebert. Gathered in, and now Royer going to have an opportunity. Stutter steps, trying to get around Murphy and steered back to the outside. 14 on the shot clock for the Edmonton Miners. 1:20 left in this 4-on-4 action. Bowen finds Royer, gets an opening. Schmidt makes a stop. Rebound, they score. And that's the other Bowen getting involved. Luke Bowen on the score sheet, and as his team back within 2, will return to the faceoff dot and have ourselves a lacrosse game. You folks didn't think they'd go away just like that, did you? This is the senior division leading squad, Edmonton Miners, taking on the 4th seed in the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels. They're definitely not going to go away lightly. Nolsky lines up against Ganton for this draw. Nolsky wins that one behind him. Flett couldn't quite pick that one up. It's loose, but bobbed ahead. Shivers picks that one up for the Rebels. Shivers looking for an option. A triple team on him right now. He'll lose his handle, and Yo going to pick up the ball. Yo, scoop pass to the outside. Wheaton finished his check on him, and back across half. Here comes Kennedy. Kennedy to the middle. Wengreniuk steps in, he scores. Wengreniuk finds the top shelf for his second goal of the game, and it's a 1-goal difference in the second period with 5:55 to go. The Edmonton Miners are knocking on the Rebels' door. Tristan Shaw looks nervous as can be right now. Shaking in his boots. He apologizes if the camera gets shaky. He's just way too in love with the home squad. But you got to have one of those. As Royer takes a hit from behind, and that's going to be a penalty upcoming to the Rebels as Lintz will pick up the loose ball and step across half now for the Miners. Lintz leaves that one there for Wengreniuk. Goes for the change now. 6-on-5 for Edmonton. Or I should say, sorry, 5-on-4 as we're still still have those 4-on-4 penalties underway as Bowen now stepping to the inside, just sent it wide and out of play. So that's going to get play blown dead. The hit from behind, charged against Carter McAdam. And the Miners headed to their third power play of the game. They are 0 for 2 thus far, but no better time to change that direction. It's going to be 4-on-3 for 20 seconds before we will head on 5-on-4, barring any penalty trouble beyond that. Heber going to head back between the pipes now. Morgan getting a wipe of the floor in himself. Ball going to start off at the point. It looks like Royer going to receive this one for Edmonton. As he'll dish off as this play is blown in. 15 seconds left on the 4-on-3 power play. Royer. Wengreniuk. Outside, Bowen. Royer dished low. Needham scores on the quick stick low. Sneaks its way past Schmidt. And we have ourselves a tie lacrosse game as the Miners make quick work of that power play now 1 for 3. It's a 6-6 tie in Fort Saskatchewan. 5:12 on the board in the second period. Garanolski back to the face-off draw to take on Ronan Push. And now on their heels is Fort Saskatchewan looking for the breaker. It's a fresh game. Ball comes out loose out of the face-off draw. Wheaton just scoops that one back, trying to find Shivers, who's challenged by Royer here. Shivers sneaks up the boards. Looking to get across half now. He'll pass it across, and he's got Zayden Blake. Blake to the left-hand side. George lets it go, and that bouncer's wide of the net. Rebound's going to creep across half. Ganton trying to chase after and push this one with pace on the Rebels. Play going to be blown in now. Ganton leaves that one there for Robertson. Robertson settling things down, goes up high. Bowen sends that one across now. He's got Wengreniuk. Wengreniuk spinning off the pressure. Finds Robertson. It's going to be the moving pick charge against the Miners. The Rebels looking to head up the floor now. Will DeBoer stepping in. Nice feed to the inside. Fodchuk crease jump that time over top of the net. And now ball going to get gathered by the Miners. A fast break for them the other way. Schmidt makes the save that time on Justin Morgan. Rebound in front and a second save. And Schmidt will settle it down once again. Fed to the outside. Flett runs this one across half. Flett to Kerr. Kerr. George down the corner now. Fodchuk up high. Lets it go and whistles it over top of the net. Will DeBoer. Under 4 minutes to go in the second now. Holding it down in the left corner. Behind the back pass. Goes cross floor. Fodchuk gathers the rebound. The outside sent that off the shoulder and takes a big hit. And it's down across half, but last off the Miners. So no over and back going to be charged against the Rebels as Nolski gets the feed from his goaltender. Goes back across half. Kerr going to receive it. Kerr, 22 seconds on the shot clock. Up high, he's got Eric George. George finds Wheaton now. Wheaton down to the right corner. Fodchuk, 15 seconds, stutter step, up high. Will DeBoer along the outside. Feeds it behind the net. Wheaton picks it up. Can't get around the defense to get in front as Fodchuk lets it go from the outside. And that shot going to get away. And Will DeBoer picked up the rebound, but through the crease. So it's going to be awarded to Edmonton. Some good pressure there from the Rebels, though, as this game remains tied. 3:10 to go in the second. The Miners back on the offensive side of the floor. Needham gets the pass on the inside. Didn't have the space to let it go. Feeds it back out. Bowen. Cross finds the other Bowen. He scores. Luke Bowen, his second goal of the game. And make that 5 straight for the Miners, and they take the 7-6 lead over Fort Saskatchewan. They lead the shots 31-28 as well. We return to the face-off dot. Exactly 3 minutes to go in this middle frame. Nolski lining up for this one against Ganton. Nolski comes away with it clean, feeds that one out. McAdam gets past his man. He'll dish this one off down to Eric George. George dishes. Wheaton, a quick stick shot. They score! The Rebels tie it up and finally answer the goal run of the Miners. Wheaton on the board, and we have a fresh game once again. 2:46 to go in the second. Will we see more before the buzzer rings on this period? Nolski, push, back to the face-off. Push going to win that one cleanly to himself, brings it out into space, sends his team back to the offensive side of the floor. Push. Sonichson. Wildebor's down in the middle, so the Rebels 5-on-4 him promptly, but he'll get back to his feet now as Murphy steals this ball away and crosses half. Murphy down to the right-hand side. Wheaton, who just tied this game up for Fort Saskatchewan. Back up high now, he's got Fraser Barrett. 2:12 to go on the clock in the second, 15 on this shot clock for the Rebels. Barrett, one-handed, steers back to the outside, goes way over the head of Beret and gets across half, so it's going to be the over and back violation charged against Fort Saskatchewan. Miners ball down in the offensive zone. Needham with 2 minutes to go in the second, picks this one up, play blown in, cycles up high. Needham, Wingraniuk off to the right-hand side. Bowen cycling his way up to the point with his feet. Needham to the middle, and that shot gets inside. They score when Graniak make it a hat trick, putting his team back out in front. It's an 8-7 lead for the Miners. Nolski gonna go to the face-off again against Push. His team trailing. And those are those demons creeping in for the Rebels who have struggled against the Miners historically. Got to find a way to exercise them if you want to tie this series up, as Nolski has a one-on-one break, gets knocked down from behind, slides his way all the way to the boards. That's quite the strip of sweat out on the floor right now as Push digging at it here in the left corner. Both teams at it now. 12 seconds on the shot clock for the Rebels. And Morgan going to come in and pick that one up. Play blown dead. And indeed, we need a wipe of the playing service as Nolski's sweat is all over the place down in the left corner. 1:25 to go in the second. The Miners lead this contest 8-7. Thank you for tuning in live here to NetFront Sports. We'll have all your playoff action as this series continues on. It's going to head back to Edmonton for game number 3, in which the Miners are hoping they have an opportunity to close it out. The Rebels trying to guarantee themselves a return to the JRC with a win here today. This ball going to start down in the Miners zone as it's blown back in. Needham crosses his way across half. Needham right down to the right corner. Settled in now when Graniuk finds Royer, 20 on the shot clock, feed to the middle. Bowen spinning his way through, lost his handle on his stick. That's picked up. Sent ahead now, Shivers, springs Wildeboer, coming in with Murphy. Wildeboer just over top of the net. Rebound gathered by the Miners. It's your last minute of play in the second period. 8-7 is the lead for Edmonton as they look to pad this one before the end of the frame. Arrowires along the outside, dishes off down to the left corner. Royer cycling up high, forced back out by Shivers. Dishes across now. Battle here, and that one's going to get tied up and knocked down. It's a loose ball push. Charged against the Rebels, and Albrecht gets hauled down from the ground. And it looks like it's going to be the penalty upcoming to the Miners. Zach Harrowires to the box. Albrecht just has to walk this one away if he wants to see his team on the power play with 33.4 to go in this second period. So the Rebels power play going to get opportunity number 3 of the contest. They're 2 for 2 thus far. 33.4 on the clock. It looks like George going to start with this ball up high. I don't know how these players do it. It is hot today in the JRC. Of course, they're part of the reason it is, I suppose, but can't be helping. George up at the point now. Dishes off to the right-hand side. Fodchuk up high, back to George. Rebels taking this one slow to kick us off on this power play. 18 seconds left on the shot clock. Wheaton behind the net. Beret back behind Wheaton. Up high now. Fodchuk finds George. George return feed Fodchuk. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Will DeBoer lets it go, and that one's blocked by John Lynn. Snagged out of the air. It's going to be a fast break the other way. Ganton shorthanded. Cut off. Lets it go, and Schmidt makes a stop. Keeps his team within 1 shot at the end of the second. 40 minutes in the books in round 1. Game number 2 between the Rebels and the Miners. And it's Edmonton taking the 8-7 lead after trailing by as much as 4 goals in this period. My name's Aiden Bolsgaard. Tristan Shaw is running your camera. We'll be back in just under 10 minutes with your third period action. Until then, don't get too far. You're listening live on NetFront Sports. Hello and welcome live on NetFront Sports. My name is Aiden Bolsgaard. Tristan Shaw is on the camera, and you're tuned in for round one, game number 2 between the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels and the Edmonton Miners in the RMLL Senior B Division. It's the 1 versus 4 matchup, and the Miners are leading this contest 8-7, headed into our third and possible final frame. They as well lead this series 1-0. They open up with the offensive possession. Royer stepping in with some pace. Beats his way past Blake and trying to get past McAdam here as well. Royer rolls this one back up high. Needham gets that ball. 7 seconds on the shot clock. He's stepping in a challenge. Lets it go low, and Schmidt able to make the stop that time around. Schmidt up along the right-hand side now. It's off to McAdam, who's going to run this one across half back into offensive territory for the Rebels. Fodchuk to the point, George. George back to Fodchuk. They'll play a little bit of pass. 10 seconds on the shot clock. George from the outside tried to put it behind for Beret. Play going to get blown dead on the moving pick. Charged against the Rebels, so it's going to be Miners' ball. Headed out across half. Kennedy brings this one in. Robertson gets the pass from him. Beats his way past Flett. Steered away to the outside. 15 seconds on the shot clock now. Still a power play for the Rebels here to kick off this frame. That's why you see the Miners hanging out along the outside is Robertson. His shot going to get gathered by Wingraniuk, and another shot off of the goaltender. And so that would have been the reset, but Wildeboer going to come in and pick that one up for the Rebels. Play blown dead. And it looks like we want a wipe of the floor, I would assume. And that's going to be the case as Chris Urbanuk comes off the bench to get it all sorted out. And that's a shine on the floor that even I can see from here. Urbanuk doing a great job all game long on the towel. Great job out on the floor as well. As it looks like we're about good to go. Beret going to start with this ball from his own end. A fresh 30 on the clock. Ray runs this one across half. 18.5 to go in the third. If you're just tuning in, you haven't missed anything yet. It's a quick shot from the outside by Fodchuk. Stopped there by Matt Hebert. And the Miners looking to break out here once again. They get across half. Morgan. Bounce pass off to Needham. Needham. Challenged here by Barrett. Needham from the outside now. Down to the left corner, he's got Royer. 6 seconds on the shot clock for the Miners. Royer trying to step to the inside. Nolski on top of him, and that shot gets onto Schmidt, and the referee does signal for the reset. But Schmidt gathers in the rebound, so Nolski goes up along the right-hand side. He's got McAdam. 17:40 to go in the third. McAdam up high for Wheaton. Wheaton leaves that one there for George. George to Wildeboer. Cross feed Royer. Royer back up to the point. Wildeboer down to Bray, who couldn't quite handle that pass. Lintz able to pick up the rebound. Lintz feeds that one across half. 3-on-2 breakout for the Miners. That pass doesn't connect with Ganton, but he's able to gather the rebound off the boards. 20 seconds on the shot clock here for the Miners to work with as Ganton lost his handle momentarily. Gets it back. Rebels all over him and got it on net. And play blown dead as he's knocked down from behind. And no call upcoming there. It's going to be Fort Saskatchewan moving up the floor once again. Hudson Shivers. Under 17 to go in the third. His team trailing by 1. Across. Beret into the middle. Wildeboer steps in and a great stop there by Hebert. Rebound gathered by the Rebels. Kerr has it. Shivers going to go for a change. That's going to bring Fodchuk out on the floor. Kerr. Fodchuk. From the outside now. Lets it go, and that one's blocked down in front that time by Shanklin. And a stretch past the head. Yo picks it up, but going to steer back and allows offense to get out on the floor. 16:22 to go in the third. Bowen Down along the left-hand side now. Cycles up to the point. Dishes cross floor when Graniuk to the middle. Needham just couldn't quite gather that one in. The Miners recover the rebound. 8 seconds. Bowen gets it in front, and that one's blocked nicely that time by Sherbanuk. And now another stop by Schmidt on the shot from the outside. Play blown dead, and we're looking for yet another wipe of the floor behind the net. 16:02 to go in the third. Tristan Shaw stressed out as bad as it gets. Somebody get this man a blood pressure monitor. His favorite team is trailing by 1 by a score of 8-7. And that's the Miners' lead as we wait to get back underway. It should be Rebels ball from their own end of the floor when we resume. Seidel doing some wiping on the left-hand side. Sherbanuk doing some wiping on the right-hand side. As George ready to start with this ball. I would assume the Rebels going to get backed up to their own end, but we will see. Still cleaning up behind the Rebels net here. Referee making sure everybody will be safe by the time this cleanup job comes to a close. And it looks like it has. Is George going to start from the rag line? Brings it across half. George quickly to Wheaton, gets a return feed and heads to the other side of the floor for Barrett. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Barrett, Wheaton, Fodchuk. He's been a sniper today as he gets a low one there on to Hebert. Play blown dead as he got enough of it to settle it down. Seidel going to feed it out quickly now for Adam Kennedy. Kennedy across half. He's got Yo. Yo leaves it for Needham. He's going to run this one deep into the Rebels zone. Needham, right-hand side when Graniuk. 11 seconds on the shot clock when Graniuk feeds that one across. Royer now going to challenge to the inside. Puts it behind. And stolen away by the Rebels. Wildeboer going to run this one across half. No goals yet in this third period. Each team walking on thin ice. 15-15 to go in the third. Kerr has it now along the right-hand side. Feet up high. Fodchuk pulls it low. Back up high. Kerr gets knocked down to the ground by Duff. Back up, though, with the ball. Ball behind the net. That pass missed by Wheaton, and the rebound going to be gathered in by the Miners. Bringing it across now. It's Hunter Agus. Agus, Robertson, less than 15 on the clock here in the third. Robertson from the outside behind the back, right out in front, and that one whistled just wide. Rebound for Bowen, and a great save by Schmidt. Rebels headed back north once again. Albrecht brings it across half. Albrecht to the point now. He's got Fodchuk off the bench. 14:35 on the clock, 20 on the shot meter here for the Rebels. Fodchuk finds Beret. Beret to the point now. Runs this one in along the weak side. Lets it go, and that one gathered in by the Miners, and now rush back the other way. Here they come. It's Ronan Push letting it go, and Schmidt makes the stop. Keeping his team within a shot once again. Flett now trying to get across half. Couldn't handle it. Push all over it and gets the rebound. It's a turnover to the Miners. Play blown dead, and it looks like we want another wipe of the floor out there. Good time to let you know that tonight's broadcast is sponsored by Arrival Sportswear, Canada's fast-growing custom apparel brand, Alberta-owned and operated. Always custom, always affordable. Elevate your team with Rival Sportswear as well. Tonight's player of the game is presented by Sports Central. Sports Central recycles and redistributes sports equipment to kids 4 to 17 and families facing financial hardship. Follow NetFront Sports on Instagram for the Sports Central player of the game following tonight's broadcast. Exactly 14 minutes left on the clock here in the third. The Rebels being outshot 38-31 by the Edmonton Miners. Needham going to start with this ball in his own end, and it looks like we're just about ready to get back underway. But Sherbanuk running down to the other side of the floor now. to get the towel down. Referee not quite satisfied yet with the job he's done. And something like this just kind of unavoidable on the cement surface. Every time a player goes down at this point of the game, you're going to get that big, long sweat streak, and it is dangerous for the players out there, so you got to make sure you deal with it. Of course, when the humidity goes up as well in the building, that does not help the floor either. So here we go. Back in play. Needham going to rush this one across half for the Miners. Needham sends that one across. He's going. Greniuk now, who takes the low lane, trying to get to the inside. Spun back to the outside. Hits Royer with the pass. Zayden Blake all over him. Overextended that time as Royer steps around. Jack Royer across. When Greniuk just bobbles the pass. And a battle for the ball now. Shivers in there. Flett as well. Ball pinned up along the boards. Continuing to battle for it is both sides as Fleck goes down, and play going to get blown dead as the shot clock expires. And this is going to bring yet another stoppage in play, but it looks like a penalty upcoming here to the Miners. Needham headed to the box. He has a goal in this contest, but now is going to sit for 2 minutes. And yet another wipe of the floor is inbound down in the corner. It's been a struggle getting through the last couple. We would like to see a good stretch of lacrosse here, and what is an exciting third period as the Rebels only trailing by 1 as they look to tie this series 1-1. It's a best of 5, so a loss tonight would put them in the chokehold. Tristan Shaw almost takes out the camera. That one would have been coming off the paycheck right there, but makes the quick save. That's why I keep him on all my rec sports teams, by the way. It's those action-like reflexes. Hell of a slow pitch player. Hell of a ball hockey player. And we're going to find out this winter, can he perform on the ice as well? We're going to see. We're going to see. As cleanup on the floor continues. Looks like Terry getting out there for Fort Saskatchewan. Helping out in the corner. Good to see. George going to start with this ball up high as it's a Rebels power play inbound. They are 2 for 3 in this game. This is their 4th opportunity. And no bigger one here as they want to tie up this contest. George behind the net. Beret up high. Fodchuk. Low shot, and that one's blocked. Gets his own rebound. Another one behind the net. Beret picks it up. Up high, Wildeboer. Another shot, and that one off the cage of John Lentz. Rebound recovered. Fodchuk, 6 on the shot clock. George scores! The Rebels tie this one up on the power play. They're 3 for 4, and it's a fresh game with 13:06 to go. Nolski back to the faceoff dot, exactly where he wanted to be. And he'll go against Ronan Push once again. Here we go, folks. Game 2 comes down to the next 13 minutes. Let's see where we get. Push. Wins that draw cleanly, dishes across. The Miners go back on attack. Kennedy steps in, dishes it off high. He's got Sonachin, who puts it behind the net now. Or not behind the net, down to the corner, sorry, for Wayne Greniak, who's going to drive towards the net. He scores! When Greniak avoids the crease and pots that one home for goal number 4 today, and the Miners quickly regain their 1-goal lead. 9-8 is your score. Nolski back to the faceoff dot. Didn't want to be back there for this reason, but he's going to have to battle against Ronan Push once again to try to get possession back for the Rebels, who trail by 1. Ball loose in the draw. Flett battling for it in front of his own bench. Sonnichsen on it as well. Feeds it. It's going to be a break in. Ronan push all alone. Great stop by Schmidt. Keeps his team within one. And Flett going to run this one across half. 12.5 on the clock. Flett leaves that one for Kerr. 22 on the shot clock for the Rebels. Kerr settling things down. Going to run around the defense now into the middle. Wheaton gets in alone and got tied up, and his shot ends up out of play. Ball back to the Miners, who look to spread out their lead now with an offensive possession. Robertson across half. 12:05 on the clock. Robertson holding on to it. Puts it behind the net, and that pass going to miss. Rebound gathered momentarily by Shivers. Knocked out of his stick, and it's going to be through the crease for the Miners, so it's going to be awarded to the Rebels freely. So they'll get an opportunity to move up the floor here once again. Shivers running this one up. Gets across half now. Dishes off to the point. George instantly pressured here by Shanklin. George has lane right down Broadway. Lets it go and scores! George, back-to-back goals, and the Rebels tie it up. 9-9 is your score from the JRC. 11:43 to go. It's a fresh game once again. Nolski, push, battle it out in the faceoff dot. Who will find possession this time? Seen them through the entirety of the night, mostly, opposed to a couple draws. Is this ball going to get down into the Miners zone? Eric George trying to get on top of it. It's going to be Hebert who grabs that ball and feeds it out to his defense as the Miners going to look up the floor here once again. Push, steps across half. Fed back up high. Bowen gets out there for the offense. Bowen down along the left-hand side now, moving it back up top. Royer, he's got an outside shot, whistled over top of the net. Bowen picks it up once again. Behind the back pass to the inside. Royer, Bowen, a shot, and his stick breaks on that one. Oh, my, you got to feel bad for him on that. A point-blank shot in the middle, and the equipment fails on him. It's going to be Rebels ball from their own end. Zayden Blake going to pick it up in the corner. 11 minutes on the clock. 9-9 lacrosse game from Fort Saskatchewan on a Wednesday night. Who else are you watching? This is it. Vodchuk. Fraser Barrett across hits Wheaton. Back up to the point. George, he's got 2 goals in a row for the Rebels. Has tied this game up twice. Vodchuk. Barrett trying to get around the defense to the inside. Took a big hit there and gets knocked down a second time. Penalty upcoming to the Miners. Play blown dead. Interference charge to Edmonton. Yo headed to the box. Rebels to the power play. Number 5 of the game, brought to you by 5-2 Project Services. And maybe their nod to get back out in front. And a shout out to Cody Jansen tuning on, voice of the Saskatchewan Rush. We love to see you in the chat, Cody, and hope all is well in your neck of the woods. Eric George going to line up at the point now. 2 minutes on the clock for the Rebels to work with. An extra body on the floor. George, right-hand side now. Vodchuk gets a return feed. He's had a sniper shot from the outside today as Wildemore lets it go, and a great right shoulder save from Hebert. Battle for the rebound now. You're going to see some physical lacrosse down the stretch now, folks, as the Miners up along the right-hand side. It's Kennedy. Going to hold this one out into space. 22 seconds on the shot clock. They want to hold on to this as long as they can. But, again, this is Edmonton. They can strike at any given moment, so you can't lay off if you're the Rebels defense. You want that ball back. Robertson at those left wing half boards. Less than 10 minutes to go in the third. It comes down to this here in game number 2. Shivers stepping across half. Waiting in space is his power play unit getting back out onto the playing surface. Wheaton going to get that ball from him. 9:35 on the clock. Wheaton brings it down to the right corner. Up high, George again has scored the last 2 Rebels goal to tie us up twice. As George from the outside, another one. Hebert dragged the leg behind him to make that stop. Play going to be blown dead. And it's going to be Miners ball, but I believe headed to our TV timeout / goalie water break here in the RMLL Senior B Division. This is the playoffs, game number 2 from Fort Saskatchewan. And again, a shout out to Rival Sportswear, Canada's fast-growing custom apparel brand, Alberta owned and operated. Always custom, always affordable. Elevate your team with Rival Sportswear. As well, tonight's player of the game is presented by Sports Central. Sports Central recycles and redistributes sports equipment to kids 4 to 17 and families facing financial hardship. Follow NetFront Sports on Instagram for the Sports Central player of the game following tonight's broadcast. And I think Keenan and Eric going to have a tough time choosing amongst the players tonight. Probably the decision in this one going to help them at least narrow it down to one roster. And play blown back in. Roy are going to start with it from his own end. Miners remain on the penalty kill for the next 50 seconds when Grenier gets the pass from him as they cross half. Tedious lacrosse is what you might see here on the rag of the ball. Again, the Rebels historically not great against Edmonton, especially this season. Haven't found a way to knock them off. The Miners have only dropped one game in the regular season, and that one was against the Outlaws. There's a little bit of a scuffle up here down in the right corner. And the referees don't want to call the penalty, as Albrecht going to be free to go back to the bench, along with Wengreniuk nonetheless. Back underway, 8:50 to go in the third. 16 on the power play for the Rebels. Fodchuk up high, George. Fodchuk. They play a little bit of pass here along the outside of the 24. Fodchuk, low shot. That one stopped by Hebert. Didn't have to move a muscle. Solid positioning there from the Miners goaltender. As Edmonton looking to move it out. It's a stretch pass, short-handed, and that one's not going to connect. Schmidt's got his stick up in the air and will gather in that rebound as George wants it in the middle. He's going to get it. 5 on 5. The Rebels now 3 for 5 on the power play. Is unable to convert on that man advantage. We remain tied. 9-9 here from Fort Saskatchewan. Fodchuk to the point. George lets it go, and that one stopped by the right leg. Wildeboer after the rebound. The Miners a little better. Push. Gets it. Gonna run this one across half. 3 on 1. Shanklin drops it. Yo, Shanklin, he scores! Shanklin breaks the tie, and the Miners hit double digits first and take the 10-9 lead over the Rebels. Less than 8 minutes to go on the clock. We're going to return to the middle for yet another face-off. Expect to see Push and Nolski there. Another wipe of the floor taking place. Maintaining the playing surface to the best of his abilities today is Chris Sherbanuk, doing a great job doing so as well. Maybe drew the short end of the stick today to be on the towel. I'm sure everybody kind of tosses off duties. Nonetheless, this time it's in the crease of his own goaltender, so I'm sure he's happy to get that one done for Schmidt, as he's going to have to be rock solid if the Rebels are going to find their way back into this one. Time is dwindling. Still 8 minutes on the clock, and for all you lacrosse fans out there, you know a 1-goal lead means pretty much nothing in the game of lacrosse. It can change on a dime. Cody Jansen tuned in. He knows that better than most folks, I'm sure, having watched it all the way at the pro level from the commentator's booth. Nolski going to line up against Push, and here we go. Back underway. Push wins that one cleanly. Morgan couldn't quite gather that one in. George on top of it here. Flett comes in, had it in his stick momentarily, and now this ball going to get thrown ahead. Push picks it up. Miners in the offensive zone with a fresh 30. Fed up high. Needham settles it down up at the blue line. Non-existent blue line. You can just see it along the boards here in the JRC. Nonetheless, Needham, some space at the point. Challenged by Wildeboer. Finds Robertson. Momentarily bobbled that pass, but gets it across to Bowen. Bowen spinning off, trying to find his way to the inside. Goes behind the net. The dunk attempt, and Schmidt sucks up against his goal post and makes sure there's no holes to be found. It's going to send the Rebels back the other way. 7:12 on the clock. Shivers hits Kerr. Telegraphs it down to the right wing half boards is Kerr. Waiting for the rest of his offense. It's going to be George, the last man off the bench. Rebels unit fully out there. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Kerr's shot. Low. Wildeboer grabs the rebound. Up high now, Fraser Barrett. Back down, Wildeboer. 6 seconds to work with for the Rebels. Got to get something on net. Behind the back, that one's into the corner. And that's going to get the play blown dead. Shot clock violation against Fort Saskatchewan. Miners headed back north. 6:42 on the clock in the third. Yo leaves that one for Bowen. Bowen, left wing half boards. Looking at the low lane, feeds across. Bowen from the outside, lets that one go over top of the net. Jake Bowen, 2 goals in today's contest. That one just not quite on the mark. Play going to get blown dead for yet another cleaning of the floor. And you're going to see that lots as this goes on, folks. But we wouldn't want a slip of a shoe to be the deciding factor in this contest, would we? No. So we're going to wait patiently. In Wolfsgard, Tristan Shaw live for you here on NetFront Sports, your home of all RMLL playoff action. This is the Senior B Division. It's round number 1 between the Rebels and the Miners. This series will continue on later this week. Back in Edmonton, the Miners hoping to have that chokehold and an opportunity to close it out. As this one, only 5 games long at max. The Rebels want to have it tied and guarantee themselves a return to the JRC. George sends that one across. Kerr puts it down to the corner now. Fodchuk cycling up high. Closed off. He'll send it back over to George. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Nice pick set there from Berets. George sends one on net, and that one's going to be stopped cleanly. That time by Matt Hebert. Kerr swiping at it. It gets back across half. And it's going to be the Miners who pick it up. Hunter Agus now stepping in along the left-hand side. Lets it go, and a nice stop by Schmidt off his left shoulder. Rebound gathered by the Rebels. Kerr looking ahead across half. 5:50 to go in your third period. Kerr down along the right-hand side. Up high, he's got Fodchuk. Fodchuk, George, outside shot. That one's blocked on its way and ends up wide. Battle for the ball here behind the Miners' net. Seidel going to join in as the third party, and he'll pick up that ball. Ball up along the left now. Kennedy. Up high, dishes off. He's got Needham. 5:20 on the clock. 18 for the Miners to work with on this shot clock. It's a quick stick opportunity for when Greniuk ends up wide of the net. Ball bouncing in the 24 when Greniuk picks it up. 8 seconds on the shot clock, and another stop from Schmidt, keeping his team in it. Shivers up along the right-hand side. Flat now. He's got it. To the point, Beret. 5 minutes to go in the third period. Rebels trailing by 1. 10-9 is your score for the series leading Edmonton Miners. Brought wide here by Beret along the left-hand side. Button hooking, trying to get out high. 10 seconds on the shot clock. His pass going to get stolen away. It's going to be a run back the other way. Hunter Agus now beats his man. Lets it go, and a nice stop by Schmidt. And the rebound bobbled onto him as well. He had to settle it down. Gets it nonetheless and feeds it out to Albrecht. Hard-hitting lacrosse action. Back and forth play finally getting underway in the third. This game's opened right up. Kerr. His scoop pass. Gathered by Wildeboer off the glass. Sent across. Fodchuk scores! 10-10 tie. The home squad knots it up. Joshua Fodchuk, the hat trick. And this one is not in the books yet, folks. Let's go back to the face-off dot. 4:24 on the clock. Nolski, Ronan push. Loose ball off the drop. Shanklin going to come in and pick it up for the Miners as they get on offense. Kennedy across when Greniuk up to the point. Push back to Kennedy. A nice passing play in that one. Just over top of the net. Rebound gathered momentarily by the Miners and held at the point here by Robertson. His pass off, settled down by Push. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Robertson going to pull this off to the left-hand side. Challenged by Matt Murphy. Murphy tracking his man. Robertson steps around and whistles that one wide of the net. Bowen along the outside. His shot over top. Rebound gathered, and Bowen forced to drop it on the shot clock. Violation. Wildeboer going to pick it up down in the right corner. 3:48 to go in the third period. Wildeboer runs this one up along the left-hand side. He'll step across half. Leaves that one there for the captain, Beret. 3:35 on the clock. Fresh game. 10-10 is your tie. Barrett gets that pass across Wheaton. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Wheaton steps in, lets it go. It's over top. Settled down by Barrett behind the net now, and Wheaton tried the opportunities through the crease. Nonetheless, the Miners going to pick it up. Pass off to Ganton, and they're headed back to the offensive side once again. Fresh 30 on the clock for the Miners to try to break the tie. They've been able to get out in front multiple times after it's been knotted up. Coming off a 4-goal storm back to tie it up in the second, my apologies. And that's what's got us where we are as Albrecht picks up the rebound, going right down the middle, lost his handle, and good backtrack there from the Miners. Royer now stepping in behind the back, tried to get it inside for Bowen, who gets the rebound off the end boards. Cycling back up high, still 20 on the shot clock for the Miners. They'll settle it down. Penalty upcoming to the Rebels. 2:40 on the clock. This could be a game changer. 6-on-5 now with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Bowen, Needham, Bowen along the outside. 6 seconds to work with for the Miners. Cycled up. Bowen lets it go, and now a legal pick going to be charged against the Miners. That's going to get the play blown dead. Nonetheless, it's the Rebels headed to the box, and the Miners to power play number 4 on the day. They're 1 for 3. It's going to be Albrecht headed to the box multiple times. He's been there today. And the lack of discipline has the possibility to shoot the Rebels in the foot. Hate to see that. You'd love to see this game end 5-on-5, both teams at their best, but the Rebels have had 5 power play opportunities today. This only the 4th for the Miners, so may as well have that category as even as possible as well. 2:26 on the clock. Another wipe of the floor taking place to make sure everything's in working order for when we get back underway to go down the stretch here in the third. Royer's going to start with the ball up high. It's been great back and forth action. Again, I'll say it, one of the best games I've seen this senior Rebel squad play in 3 seasons. It's been outstanding, high-paced lacrosse. They look like they want it. They look like they're right there with the Miners. By no means are they being outplayed tonight in what some probably thought would be an easy sweep in this opening round for Edmonton. For Saskatchewan, showing that Rebels pride, that Rebels battle, one that I grew to know even as an 8-year-old playing for the minor team. The Rebel never says die, and they're showing that here today. But the Miners trying to silence that crowd, snuff out the flame. It looks like the ball's going to return to the point. Means Sherbanuk about to head back to the bench. Referees checking it over, making sure their shoes stick. If theirs stick, the players should too. Of course, I never found that to be the case. I know playing on this floor, I always had a bottle of hairspray on the bench. And again, I'm not sure that ever really helped. As funny story, it's sticky, so it helps for about 10 seconds. And then the hairs and stuff get on there, and you're even slipperier than before. Nonetheless, we're blown back in. Miners power play. Bowen from the outside. Hits the other Bowen on the floor. Drops his man in McAdam. Fed across. Bowen from the outside. Rips that one over the top of the net. Rebound stopped by Schmidt. Picked up by McAdam. Rebels trying to get out of their zone here shorthanded. McAdam has to just send it. Doesn't want the violation. Gets it down the floor. It's off the end boards. Rebound gathered by Agus, and the Miners going to look to head back up the floor here again. 1:52 on the clock in the third, 1:26 on the Miners power play. So the clock does outweigh the man advantage, but will this be the difference maker? Royer, Bowen, Royer gets the return feed up high, playing a little bit of pass here with Sonnichsen. Royer down to the corner, Bowen lets it go. It's over top of the net. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Royer's got to let it go, and Schmidt going to settle that one down in his own crease. 1:27 to go on the clock. Exactly a minute in this Miners power play. Across half, Zayden Blake couldn't quite settle it down. That could be a crucial mistake. His push now going to get it off to Needham, and the Miners going to go back into the offensive zone on this power play. 48 seconds on the man advantage. 1:10 on the clock. Needham, Royer, Robertson, Royer. From the point, down to the corner, Needham, back up high, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Royer from the point, Down to the corner, Needham. Who's going to let it go? Royer lets it go, and it's blocked by Nolsky. Doesn't show a shake. And it's going to be Rebels ball from their own end. Shivers, seeing what he's got for options, steps across half. 18 seconds on this penalty. Up high, Kerr. Wildeboer sends that one wide of the net, looking for the shorthanded strike. And it's going to be over and back. Miners ball, 2 seconds on their power play. And they're going to call the timeout. 26.6 on the clock. And 1 second officially up on that power play. And that's important because they're going to start with the man advantage down in the Rebels zone off that over and back violation. Could we have asked for a better lacrosse game on a Wednesday night than this? No, we could not have. 10-10 is your score as the Rebels look to knot this series up. The Miners look to put it on the brink before they head home. It's been an exciting one. Your goal scorers today in this one. First for the Rebels, it's Eric George, Jordan Whedon, Greg Beret, Joshua Fodjuk, Dylan Kerr, and Fraser Barrett. On the other side for the Miners, it's Nick Shanklin, Jake Bowen, Luke Bowen, Marcus Needham, and Cam Wengreniuk, who has 4 goals in today's contest, the most of anybody out there on the floor. The Junior Rebels in the building cheering on their squad, trying to give them that extra push to get over the line in this one. Could we see extra time? The Miners gonna go with the empty net with 28 seconds on the clock, laying all their cards out on the table. They want it done in regulation. Royer gonna start with this ball up high. It's crunch time in Fort Saskatchewan. This ball gonna be blown in from the corner. Needham's got it. Here we go. 26 on the clock as this one's winding down. Albrecht comes out of the penalty box and joins his defensive unit. Royer with it up high and nervous. Quiet energy here in the JRC as their team needs a stop to extend this ball game. Royer slowly. Their net empty. It's 6-on-5. Here comes the movement. It's all on this now. Bowen from the outside sends it wide. Ball down the floor. And that will do it for regulation. Extra time from Fort Saskatchewan to decide game number 2 of round 1 in the RMLL Senior B playoffs. Now, we should get right back to it here, folks. I don't believe there will be any intermission. Again, Aiden Bolsgaard and Tristan Shaw joining you here from the JRC in Fort Saskatchewan tonight. Both invigorated. This is the best game I've seen here all season long. And it's always the senior team that gives me the most action year in, year out. The Junior Rebel is always substantially good. And right now, what we're hearing from the higher-ups is what we're going to have is 10 minutes of non-sudden death lacrosse. If we can't find a deciding factor of that, it'll be 20 minutes of sudden death impending right after. That is the assumption right now. I'm actively trying to double-check, but I'm going to trust the higher-ups as of right now. Don't go against the boss's word. That's what I was taught early on in the career. It's kind of like the wife. Even if you're right, you just say, yes, dear. Yes, dear. You're right. You're right. But no, we got some smart ones here at NetFront Sports, and I trust them entirely. It's all jokes from me as always, but no kidding around going on the floor right now. Game faces across the board for all squads. 30 seconds left in this brief intermission before we'll get underway. So we're going to have a full 10-minute overtime period confirmed. Will this be how we find our winner? Nolski and push, no surprise, ready to get underway in the face-off dot. The floor getting a good cleaning. Just so I know the higher-ups are listening, do I get to charge time and a half for the overtime? I think guaranteed. Tristan Shaw already told me it's green-lighted, so. You never know. You got to try when you can, folks. No better place to do it live on air. That's what I heard. That's what The towel is off the floor. So it should be time for lacrosse. The referees are probably asking each other the same question right now. Who can blame them? Nolski and push. For all the marbles, it's overtime from Fort Saskatchewan. Game number 2 of the playoffs. It's going to be Rebels ball in the face-off violation. They get the first opportunity to strike. Beret gets this ball as it's blown back in. It's going to be a full 10 minutes regardless of how this goes. No sudden death as Beret lets it go and wires one off the crossbar to kick us off here. Wasting no time. As it's gonna be the goaltender Schmidt who picks it up and has to feed it ahead. Goes all the way down the floor as he didn't find an option and had to avoid the violation. Nonetheless, the Miners pick it up from their own end and now are looking up the floor. Jackson Ganton feeds it ahead. Robertson brings it across half. Robertson, left-hand side. Up at the point now, feeds that one off. He's got Bowen. 2 goals today in this contest for Bowen as he gets the rebound, steps inside, and he scores. That's the opening goal of the overtime for Luke Bowen, the hat trick. 9:06 to go, and the Rebels on their heels. This is senior lacrosse, just to confirm for the folks at home. Things being talked over here at the bench. And it looks like we have an RMLL official down in the penalty box. So this is an interesting turn of events. Whenever you see the blue shirt with the RMLL logo, the concerns come about. And now this place got quiet. Things are tooth and nail waiting for what the result of this conversation is going to be. So it looks like we're going to get back underway. Nothing going to change. It's the 11-10 lead for the Miners. Is that a weird occurrence? Nonetheless, we get back to it. Nolski wins that draw. Losing the handle was Longmire. That's going to allow Kennedy to pick back up for the Miners. Kennedy across. He's got Needham. Miners going to try to settle into this possession, I'm sure. 8:50 to go on the clock. Needham brings it in along the left-hand side. Albrecht challenging him. Dished across. Bowen from the outside lets it go. Fell on the way of that shot and looks a little shaken up. It's going to be the over and back violation charged against the Miners. Play blown dead. It looks like maybe checking for another wet spot here on the floor. that's indeed going to be the case. It's going to be Rebels ball when we resume, taking us into the wee hours of the night. And we got 3 towels broken out on the floor now. Things get serious in overtime. Kyle Schmidt taking advantage of this moment. Oh, and here come the mops, too. Terry to the rescue. We're all out in full force here to get this floor figured out. Now, this is the action we've all been waiting for, is the mopping of the floor. And this has got to be tough for the players. You're going from such high energy to knock down, waiting and waiting and waiting. It's almost a mental battle to try to stay engaged. And are we breaking out a 5th towel? We got a man sweeping and in the towel in his feet. That's double trouble if I've ever seen it. Now, officially, I get to charge time and a half for not only commentating a lacrosse game, but the mopping of a floor as well. And I believe that was in my employment contract. That is a fact. Tristan Shaw stays on the same rate, though, but that's only because he's known as the biggest homer that was ever hired by this corporation. And that's just the rules. Again, that's in the employment contract. I think they're looking for one big figure out of the situation here. And I'm starting to think maybe that's what the conversation was at the penalty box, is just how bad the floor is down in the Miners zone. Or the Rebels zone, I should say, the Miners attacking zone. And I mean, this floor in the JRC survived the Larry Bishop Memorial Tournament in August long weekend of 2025. So I know it can more than handle one lacrosse game. But of course, this leaves us all tooth and nail on how things are going to be decided. So things continuing to be talked over here, and the official now talking it over with the Miners. As the wipe of the floor continues. This is the most extended break I've seen in the JRC by far, based on the quality of the floor. Terry Doken still putting his best foot forward. The Miners are leading this contest 1-0 over the Rebels and currently lead this overtime frame 11-10. It is very humid in the building today. The JRC well known for those issues. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat and commentate at the same time. Nonetheless, looks like we're about ready to get back underway. And again, this point of the game, the players are not dry themselves. Every time you see one hit the ground, that's another streak of wetness. So here we go. Kerr stepping in. Low lets it go, and that one's going to be stopped by Hebert, and a quick start back to this play. 8:28 on the clock here in overtime as the Miners headed back to the offensive zone. Sonnichsen going to receive this pass. Dishes down to Bowen. Bowens, who has his team up in this overtime frame. Again, we'll play the entire frame and see where we're at after. If not, we'll head to sudden death if there is no final decision reached. As Needham couldn't quite settle this one down, but gets some help from Robertson behind the net. Ball pops out loose, and Wildeboer going to pick it up for the Rebels. Wildeboer up along the right-hand side. Less than 8 on the clock in this overtime frame. Dishes off Barrett. And there is yet another stoppage of play for a wipe of the floor. And to my understanding, it's the lack of dehumidifiers going on in the JRC that can cause this humidity issue. And that the struggle of Alberta Lacrosse folks, because if we're going to go through it, how it works is the ice plant for hockey is linked with the dehumidifier, of course. Otherwise, you couldn't have hockey, and one doesn't work without the other. Obviously, the ice plant is off when the lacrosse season is in, as we're down to pavement, and that can cause these humidity issues in the rink. So there's not much anybody can do about it, and is a common trend amongst a lot of rinks. Again, I've played lacrosse for many years in many different buildings around the city, and in Fort Saskatchewan, this is no JRC-specific issue. Turf is the only way you can avoid it, and unfortunately, the Bill Hunter is the only option for that. Nonetheless, we're back underway. Nice feed in the middle. Wheaton shot on net. A nice elbow save there by Needham. Or my apologies, Hebert. As the Rebels regain the rebound and extend this possession, it's Fodchuk. Down to the right wing half towards Wheaton. Back to the point. Beret utilizing the left side of the floor now. Wildeboer. 12 seconds on the shot clock. This pass going to get away from the Rebels. Wildeboer settles it down. His pass trying to get it down to Fodchuk, but that one misses its mark as well. Shot clock going to expire for the Rebels, and we're going to head back the other way for the Miners. Picking it up. Adam Kennedy sends that one ahead, and Push going to trot it across half as he hits Bowen. Bowen down along the left-hand side. He finds Luke Bowen. 3 goals in this contest for him, and he has it in his stick right now. 16 on the shot clock. Miners leading this overtime frame by 1. Nice feed to the inside there. It's not going to connect. Schmidt gets it in that big goaltender stick, and we'll find Nolsky, who goes cross-lower east-west, and he's got flat. 6:42 on the clock in overtime. George fakes that one off to Kerr. He's got it, and now we'll officially hit Beret. 13 on the shot clock for the Rebels. Beret spinning this one back out to the left corner, looking from out high. Lets it go, and it's just wide of the net, and this shot going to get across half, so it's going to be the over and back violation charged against Fort Saskatchewan. It's going to be Miners' ball down in the left corner of the Rebel zone. 6:21 to go on the clock. Needham, Royer. Bowen back up high to Royer. The Miners methodical as always, waiting for that perfect opportunity. It works well for them. Bowen sends that one across, and Robertson couldn't quite settle down that pass. That allows Matt Murphy to get on top of it here. Challenged by Royer, but he'll get on top of it. Under 6 minutes to go in the overtime. Rebels remain trailing by 1. Score of 11-10. Albrecht gets the pass, comes across half, feeds it into the middle. A low shot attempt on crease violation charged on Zayden Blake. That's going to send the ball right back the Miners' way, and they're happy to hang on to it. That's why they're extending out these shot clocks, folks. Push brings it in along his weak side of the floor now. Back up to the point. Royer gets that right at the halfway mark. Careful not to take a step back on that pass reception. Bowen, outside shot, and that one's blocked. Stolen away by the Rebels, and now it's going to be McAdam. Headed in with Flett. Flett picks up that pass. Not quick enough there on the breakout of the Rebels, so forced to let their offense come out. 5:20 on the clock, 18 on the shot clock for the Rebels. Up high now, Eric George. He's got 2 in this contest. Tied this game up twice for the Rebels. Can he do it again? Fodchuk, middle, Wildeboer lets it go, and it's over top of the net. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Ganton going to pick it up. In the corner for the Miners. He doesn't want it. He just wants to kill the clock, and I can respect the gamesmanship that time around, as now he's going to head up across half. Ganton passes it off for Robertson. The Miners' offense back out onto the floor. Under 5 minutes to go in this overtime frame. Robertson, Sonichson, outside shot wide of the net. Rebound pops out. It's going to be in the stick of Wildeboer. Into the middle, Hudson Shivers now right down Broadway. Yo, challenging him. Shivers let it go. Losing the stick and the glove in the process was Hebert. Lots of bodies on the floor. Lots of sweat on the floor. And here comes out the wiping team once again as everybody picks themselves up. 4:34 on the clock. And just an eye out to the chat here. A little hate for the Fort Saskatchewan players not helping. They now have their junior team out helping, and for the entirety of this game is Chris Sherbanuk of the Rebels, who was doing it throughout the entirety up until the point of this overtime, where it's been more and more of a challenge. But it's good to see the junior players getting out there and helping. They've been here cheering on the senior Rebels as well. The junior B Tier 1 Rebels, that is, who recently booked their ticket to the Larry Bishop Memorial Tournament with a win over the Beaumont Outlaws in a hard-fought North Final. The Rebels dominant throughout the entire season and have found their way to the promised land as they look for a provincial championship once again. And nothing's good enough for the chat today, as I'm trying to let you know that the Rebels franchise is helping out. But not good enough. We want the big boys helping, not the little boys. We want the coach out there as well. I mean, like, I'm sitting right behind the bench. I can yell at him, John. I can yell at him. But if that's what you want me to do, I can yell. I mean, it's going to be hard on your ears. Maybe turn down your laptop speaker quick, but or whatever device you're watching on. I don't want to discriminate against devices. Tristan could grab him up. Now, these are the better ideas that we're getting to. Tristan should indeed have a mop and be getting out there to help out. Okay, John and Jackson want me to yell at the coach. I'm not gonna yell at the coach. I'll just tell you that one for free. He looks like he could beat me up, not gonna lie. And he's in a stressful situation. I wouldn't want to be bothered. I would say everybody else wipe the floor. The Rebels are trying to tie his series up as they trail 1-0 to the Miners, who look to put a stranglehold on this series. Nolski lined up against Push. And by the way, you can check in on all your scores on NetFrontSports.com. That's the website for you. Live scoring, player profiles, different stories from around Alberta sports. It's a one-stop shop and only continuing to grow. Make sure you check it out. We're back underway. Needham up high for Sonnichsen. Sonnichsen down along the right-hand side now. Fed up high once again by Graniuk. And the outside shot from Needham ends up out of play, but that's off the Rebels, so it's going to remain Miners' ball. 4:10 to go in the overtime. We've only seen the one goal that has the Miners up 11-10. Needham dishes off Graniuk. Back up to the point now. Needham off to the left side. He's got Royer. Matt Murphy steps out. Exchange of men here is this pass right through the middle over the head of Bowen. Rebound gathered by Needham. Flett all over his man here down in the left corner. Royer has some space, lets it go, and that's a nice stop by Schmidt. You heard that one all the way from the top row in the JRC. As stepping across half with it's going to be McAdam. The Rebels back on offense. 3:40 to work with. Fort Saskatchewan trying to find that tying goal. Kerr. Fodchuk. Moved around by the Rebels. Will DeBoer sends a shot on net short side, and that one stopped. Rebound popped out, and play going to be blown dead. And looking for yet another wipe of the floor. Okay, now it should be time to maybe get everyone involved with the mop. And John, we are a positive culture here on NetFront Sports. Lacrosse is alive and thriving in Fort Saskatchewan for some senior action. You just can't see the other side of the stands, which are packed here in the fort. Okay? Nonetheless, worker bees back to work as John Lynch checking things out on the floor. Another great point brought up as well. Where are the shirtless guys? They should be here supporting the senior team as well. But I'm pretty sure they got kicked out from what Tristan tells me, so maybe a little bit not ready to return. I should start giving the headset to Tristan here. I got to be honest, I've prepped for some heavy stoppages in my time. I've gone through it. board replacements, you name it, but I never thought it would be the mop that defeats me. I got to be honest, but I've got Bryce and John here with me chatting away in the chat, and we appreciate you, as always, as we appreciate our moppers out on the floor. You know what? As you mentioned, the star of the game as well, it's a good time to let you know that tonight's player of the game is presented by Sports Central. Sports Central recycles and redistributes sports equipment to kids 4 to 17 and families facing financial hardship. Follow NetFront Sports on Instagram for the Sports Central player of the game. Following tonight's broadcast, we're back underway. Barrett dishes this one off to Will DeBoer. Will DeBoer, kind of a sub pass off, trying to find Chuck, and that one's going to get away from him. Aaron Duff picks it up. Feeds it ahead for Push. Under 3 minutes to go now in this overtime frame. Push brings it in on his weak side. Goes back up high now. Robertson. Again, watch the Miners. You're not going to see that movement until late in the shot clock here. I think they're not so much looking for reassurance as they are time off the board here. Bowen across. Royer into the middle. A quick shot, and Schmidt makes the stop. Gathered the rebound as well, and now the Rebels trying to stretch it as Shivers runs this one across half on his weak side. Got to see some push here from Fort Saskatchewan. They've been there all game long. George has it up high now, down to the left corner, Beret. Greg Beret. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Caught along the outside are the Rebels. He lets it go on net, and that one's stopped by Matt Hebert. The Miners recover once again as we creep up on 2 minutes to go in this overtime period. John Lentz across half with it. Dishes off. He's got Needham. Puts the hand out to settle down his offense. Again, wanting to utilize that shot clock. 14 seconds to work with here for the Miners. Fed up high when Greniak hits Needham. Left side, Bowen. Bowen spins off Anolski. Back up high, Needham. Outside shot stopped by Schmidt. Rebounds out. And it's the Miners who come up with it. This is huge for them as they extend out the possession. 1.5 to go in this overtime. They lead at 11-10. When Greniak, right side, Bowen. Up to the point now, Needham. Bowen. Miners along the outside. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here comes the movement now. Held to the outside thus far. Bowen across. Quick stick shot, and that one gets away. Matt Murphy gets the rebound. Reset for the Rebels. Pass across now. McAdam going to run this one across. And it's going to be given to Fodchuk. We're in our last minute of play in the overtime as Fodchuk lets it go and nails Eric George behind the net. Rebound pops out. Miners pick it up. It's going to be pushed ahead, and it's going to be pushed across half with it. 45 seconds on the clock. 25 on the Miners shot clock. They just want to hang on to it. Sent across half when Greniak gets that in his pocket. Hanging out at the line. The Rebels have to pressure here. You got to send something. Robertson, the swim dodge. Finds space. 5 on the shot clock. Sends it across. Sonichin couldn't collect it. And it's going to be the timeout called by the Rebels. 11-10 to go in the overtime frame. And I think they're going to go all for nothing as there's a 2-0 series lead on the line. A stranglehold. And I'll never live down the Homer comments, even though it's Tristan Shaw. It is. I cannot stress this enough. It is Tristan. It is Mr. Cameraman himself. He's been in cahoots with the Rebels since day one. It is what it is. I try to keep things kind of straight and narrow from my neck of the woods. 20 seconds left in this Rebels timeout. As they are going to go 6-on-5 is my assumption to try to find this tying goal and send us to sudden death. Hebert returning between the pipes. No doubt the Miners' best defensive unit out there on the floor. Former professional player John Lentz heading it up top. Morgan, another one of those star players. And the Rebels going to counter with the best offense they can conjure up. That's Barrett, Beret, Wildeboer, Fodchuk, Kerr, and George, who's going to start with the ball down in his own end. 20.7 seconds on the clock. It's all or nothing for Fort Saskatchewan. George down to the corner, a miss pass right off the bat. Rebound pops out. The Miners gather it, and that should effectively do it for Edmonton. Seidel happy to hold this onto this one. 2 seconds on the clock, and that will do it. Overtime in the books. The Miners take the win, 11-10 over Fort Saskatchewan, and a 2-0 series lead in round number 1 of the Senior B RMLL playoffs. There's a little bit of rough stuff ensuing here at the end of this contest. But the Rebels, one more opportunity to stay alive. That comes later on this week back in Edmonton. We'll see if these teams send us off with the handshake line. It's win or go home for the Rebels now at this point. Couldn't have put a better foot forward today. Truly did challenge the Miners, who everybody thought would cakewalk through this one if you look at the statistics, but Fort Saskatchewan has shown that has not been the case. 2 close ones. Miners with the 2-0 series lead. My name is Aiden Bolsgaard. Tristan Shaw, the homer, was on your camera for you here tonight and active in the comments as well. Thank you for sticking through with us all the way to 10:34 p.m. through many mops, through many goals, many penalties, and all great lacrosse in between. It's been a pleasure. If this is the last scheduled broadcast on NetFront Sports for the 2026 Summer Ball season, it has been a blast, and we thank you for joining us on this new stretch for NetFront Sports. Stay tuned on the Instagram, all the socials, to see the new developments and what's coming up for not only next season, but everything in between. Until next time, as always, stay safe out there.